Hi, I'm Pete, and welcome to Just a Few Acres Farm. Today I'm going to talk about the history of Dexter cattle. Who would have known that this tough little breed's been around for a couple thousand years? When I started this research, I had no idea. So I've drawn information from a lot of different web sources, and I'll put them all in a bibliography down at the bottom in the video description. Before I get started on their history, please subscribe to our channel. We're just a small channel, we're growing. We'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. Please like and comment on this video. It all helps us out. Thank you. The oldest evidence of a breed like Dexter cattle has been found at excavations near Stonehenge. And it appears that Iron Age people in Britain and Ireland favored a small breed of cattle very much like the Dexters. Coming forward from Stonehenge a couple thousand years, when the Romans invaded Britain, they described cattle roaming the hills that was very similar to the Dexter and its close cousin, the Kerry, in description. Dexter history is intertwined with that of the Kerry breed, which was named after Kerry County in southern Ireland. And most recorded accounts explain that the Dexter breed was brought out of the Kerry breed. The Kerry breed was favored by small stock owners in Ireland, and it was the first dairy-focused breed as opposed to a general-purpose breed for both meat and milk. And the Kerry is also a small breed, but it's a little bit larger than the Dexter. They were hardy on rough terrain and a harsh climate in Ireland. They could thrive on meager resources, and so they were a successful breed. In the early 1800s, Kerry breeders began to select the smaller, stockier cattle for beef characteristics, and this seems to be the origin of the Dexter breed. Although Dexters have made a comeback in recent years and their population has really exploded, Kerrys never experienced that regrowth, and there are very few Kerrys left today. 1845 marks the first recorded description of Dexter cattle as being distinct from Kerry cattle, and that description was written by Mr. David Lowe. On Valentia Island in County Kerry, Lord Hawarden's estate manager, one Mr. Dexter, had developed a breed based on the mountaintop cattle of southern Ireland. And subsequent to his breeding work, the breed became well known throughout southern Ireland. And in 1882, Dexter cattle were brought to England. When they were brought to England, the Dexter breed was believed to be a smaller version of the Kerry breed, and there is some doubt as to that now. But back then, the herd books for the two breeds were combined as one, and the Dexter and the Kerry remained intertwined. Dexters became the show cattle of English gentry, and they wouldn't have separate registries from the Kerry until 1919 in Ireland. By 1925 in Britain, there were about 1,100 registered Dexter cows in 70 herds. In 1900, the Dexter Cattle Society in English published the first Dexter breed standard. And it's interesting to note that in height and proportions, it describes a Dexter with chondrodysplasia or dwarfism. This is something that some of the breed shows, but with modern genetic testing, we've learned how to identify it and breed it out of our herds if we wish. The breed standard reads as follows. The Dexter is essentially both a milk-producing and a beef-making breed, and both these points should, judging, be taken into consideration. Number 1, color. Bulls, whole black or whole red, the two colors being of equal merit. A little white on organs of generation, not to disqualify an animal which answers all other essentials of this standard description. 2, cows. Whole black or whole red, the two colors being of equal merit. Black with white on the udder, or red with white on bag. The extension of the white of the udder slightly along the inside of flank or underside of the belly, or a little white on the end of the tail, should not be held to disqualify an animal which answers all other essentials of this standard description. 3, head and neck. Head short and broad with great width between the eyes and tapering gracefully towards the muzzle, which should be large with wide distended nostrils. Eyes bright, prominent, and a kind of gentle and placid expression. Neck short, deep, and thick, and well set into the shoulders, which, when viewed in front, should be wide, showing thickness through the heart, the breast coming well forward. Horns. These should be short and moderately thick, springing well from the head, with an inward and slightly upward curve. 4. Body. Shoulders of medium thickness, full and well filled in behind, hips wide, quarters thick and deep and well sprung, flat and wide across loins, well ribbed up, straight underline, udder well forward, and broad behind with well placed teats of moderate size. Legs short, especially from knee to fetlock, strong and well placed underbody, which should be as close. 5. Skin. The skin should be soft and mellow and handle well, not too thin, hair fine, plentiful and silky. 6. Dexter bulls should not exceed 900 pounds live weight when in breeding condition. Dexter cows should not exceed 800 pounds live weight when in breeding condition. The first recorded importation to America of Dexter cattle occurred between 1905 and 1915. That's not to say that they didn't serve aboard seagoing vessels before then, because they were the perfect small milk cow to use fresh milk from on an ocean voyage. 3 large herds were set up in America in New York, Minnesota, and Kentucky. And Dexters in America became popular with homesteaders and settlers moving west. They were the perfect small homestead cow. They provided milk, they provided beef, they provided draft power. April 1921 marked the formation of the first formal Dexter Society in America, and that was the American Carry and Dexter Cattle Club. Their first herd book included both Dexters and Carries, but the two were separated in the book and given different breed descriptions because it was recognized that they were two distinct breeds at this point. In 1957, the name of the cattle club was changed to the American Dexter Cattle Association, or ADCA as many know it today. A lot of the association's early meetings and shows were held right here in New York, in Albany, Cooperstown, and Hamburg. The 20th century, and especially the period after World War II, marked great changes in the way that people regarded cattle. Breeds began to specialize. Beef cattle got bigger, they grew faster, they were adapted to finish on more grain. And dairy cattle did sort of the same thing. They got bigger, their udders got huge, and they sacrificed some of their body condition to milk production. So here was the Dexter caught in the middle. And it didn't really satisfy either purpose as efficiently as industrial agriculture wanted it to. So the breed numbers began to diminish, and their numbers dwindled until they were classified as an endangered breed in the 1970s. In the last few decades, Dexters have made an incredible comeback. They've become popular now, just as they were in the late 1800s and early 1900s, with homesteaders and small landholders. And the reason is the same. They're good beef animals, they're good milk animals, and they make good draft power. After all, an ox is just a steer with an education. The multiple registration organizations for Dexters that exist now can be a little bit confusing. The largest is the ADCA, or American Dexter Cattle Association, which was formed in 1921. In 2004, a separate organization was formed, the PDCA, or the Purebred Dexter Cattle Association. And this was formed by some of the leadership of the ADCA who became disillusioned or dissatisfied with the way that the original organization was being run. The Legacy Dexter Cattle Registry, a third organization, formed in 2005, and their mission is to preserve the original American bloodlines of Dexter cattle. They discovered that the original American bloodlines were becoming rarer as the breed was outcrossed with other breeds, mainly from the importation of semen from British bulls. This outcrossing, they felt, was changing the essential characteristics of the Dexter from that breed description that went way back into the 1800s. Polled varieties were being brought in, which means no horns, and also colors were being experimented with, as well as size. There's such a thing as a white Dexter, which is nowhere to be found in the original breed description. If you look into the relationship of these three organizations, you'll find there's a fair amount of discord between the organizations. And I think that's just the nature of people who love their animals so much. The Dexter's an old breed that's survived a lot through history and almost became extinct just recently, and is now experiencing a great resurgence because of farms like ours, direct-to-consumer marketing, small homesteads, and people that are looking for just a few cows to supply their own needs for milk and for beef. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.